Hi, and welcome to Cat Scratch Kitchen. Today we're making easy St. Patrick's Day crinkle cookies. They're vibrant, chewy, and here's the best part. We're using a cake mix shortcut so that they're practically foolproof. Whether you're heading to a party or just want a festive snack for the kids, these 4-ingredient wonders are going to be your new holiday favorite. So grab your apron and let's get baking. Okay, to start out in a large bowl, we need 1 white cake mix. Now I'm using French vanilla just because it tastes so fantastic. And the recipe originally called for a 15.2 ounce cake mix. Now I think we all know a few years back, cake mixes shrunk in size. It's now a 13.2 ounce cake mix. And because of that, I'm going to reduce the oil that it calls for by just a little bit. Just going to add my dry cake mix to the bowl. Now the recipe calls for 1/3 cup of oil. Now I'm using canola oil, and I'm going to use about 1.5 tablespoons, maybe a little more, less than what it calls for, just because we have less dry ingredients and we don't want this too sticky. It's a sticky dough to begin with. We just don't want to increase that if possible, or you won't be able to handle it at all. Next we have 2 large eggs, and then we just need to stir this together well. Now you can do this with an electric mixer if you want to, especially if you have hand strength issues, but if not, you can easily mix it by hand as well. And we just want to make sure that it's all combined and you end up with a slightly sticky dough. Everything incorporated, all the dry ingredients stirred in there well. And that's what you want. You see, this is a sticky dough. If you had too much more oil in here, you wouldn't be able to handle it at all. It's hard enough to deal with sticky dough as it is. So now I have green liquid gel food coloring, and I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon. Now it seems like a lot, but we want these to be really green. And then we're just going to work this through until it's a solid color. And there again, you can use an electric mixer if you need to. I'm just going to mix it by hand. And just keep folding it over itself to get that green consistently all the way through. And that's the kind of color we're looking for too, that bright, bright Kelly green. Now, because this is such a big bowl, I'm going to transfer it to a smaller bowl because we're going to put it in the fridge for 30 to 40 minutes so that it gets nice and chilled and becomes easier to work with. Because right now it's like dealing with slime. Now I'm just going to cover this with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to stick it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll put together our cookies. When we get ready to make our cookies, we need 2 small bowls, and we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar in one of them. And it doesn't have to be precise because this is just to roll the cookie dough in. And for the powdered sugar, we need 6 tablespoons, and I'm going to sift it because powdered sugar always ends up getting lumps in it, and we want the sugar as smooth as possible. Just roll our cookie dough in. I'm also going to get a cookie sheet that, this is actually just a sheet pan that I've sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray, and now I'm going to put some parchment paper on it. I'm also going to put on some rubber gloves, just because with this green food coloring, I don't want my hands to be green forever. And I'm going to be using about a tablespoon size cookie scoop. Okay, our cookie dough is out of the fridge. It's nice and chilled. I'm just going to take my scoop, and you can see it's still pretty sticky, but you can at least hang on to it. Roll it in the granulated sugar, and then roll it in the confectioner sugar. Make sure it's all completely covered, and set it on your cookie sheet. And they need to be about 2 inches apart. They do spread a little bit. Now you should get at least 15 cookies out of this, maybe 16. I usually get a little bit more than that. And we'll just keep going until we have a cookie sheet full. And then while we're waiting for it to cook, if you're doing one at a time like I am, then I'm going to put the cookie dough back in the fridge while I'm waiting. Okay, I have our oven preheated to 350, and I'm going to put my cookies in for 9 to 12 minutes. And then when they come out, I'm going to leave them on the pan for about 5 minutes, and then I'll put them on a wire rack to completely cool. Okay, our cookies have sat in the baking sheet for about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to put them on a wire rack, and you can see how cool they look with the green shining through for St. Patrick's Day. They're just going to be perfect. Now these kind of cookies, I know you see them at Christmas time, colored red, colored this green, and even just chocolate with the chocolate showing through. Looks fantastic. So you can definitely adapt this to just about any holiday or any time you want cookies. They taste fantastic, and I hope you enjoy.